Well, hello everybody. Welcome to what I believe is the first ever Gran Turismo 7 League broadcast here in the Midwest Esports League. That's what I'm looking on the call. We are here tonight at Trial Mountain, one of the game's fantasy tracks, and also one of them that I believe is one of the more difficult tracks on the schedule. 15 minutes of qualifying here. We then have the 1 hour long race session. I don't know if I'm going to just leave it as a highlight reel or broadcast the full session. It will depend on how much action there is. 8 cars on track tonight. Hopefully we can get more of them in. That'd definitely be part of the goal, I would say. 6 out of the 8 have chosen for the Porsche 911. The other 2 have gone as Toyotas, one of them being Electric Blade on your screen now in the Supra. So I don't like Ty Gibbs. It is a fascinating livery, that little NASCAR combo then. With that Scornsy behind on the absolutely brilliant Martini Porsche livery. I think I raced as a Martini Porsche last season at some point, but we've got Alex behind him. Not really sure what the sponsor is behind that, but very neat red and black and white combo there. I believe Valentino Rossi fonts as well. Josh Sr. on one of the few Toyotas on the grid tonight. Dustin Howe in another Porsche, in my opinion, the greatest livery designer on the grid. This guy, I mean, just have to look at this car here. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And Tiger NASCAR as well, lovely teal and silver Porsche cams. Some sort of sticker. I don't even know what's going on there. And Kate Thomas in the typical Red Bull. Electric Blade's going to be our first driver out on track tonight for the qualifying session. Let's see what kind of times he can lay down. In the practice session, we were seeing mid to low 150s. That's what I would expect up through turn 1 now, as you can see. A difficult corner, and then obviously up over turn 2. The crest is going to try to shoot your car deep through 3. Try not to hit the grass on the inside. He's done well to avoid into the first tunnel. Kind of want to keep a close apex here. Nice and easy on the throttle on exit. Very difficult corner, this turn 5. 90-degree corner, doesn't look like it. Absolutely no runoff to be had. And then up through 6. It's an off-camera corner here. The car wants to push you out wide. Very difficult corner to have through the second tunnel now. The rocks on the outside there into the flat, open, straight here. The tunnel bits over the river and through the woods has to be said here at Trial Mountain. Into now coming down the hill in towards turn 9. Very much a NASCAR type corner, this banked corner left-hander. You can take it as tight as you want, albeit the more tight you take it, the less speed you can get on exits. The S's of 9, 10, 11, very tricky corner. This coming into turn 12 over the crest of the hill. The car wants to keep going forward. You got to really back it down to beat the apex of 12 and make sure to keep the back end of the car all in one piece. Another banked corner here, ish, turn 13. Get exit, big wiggle there, either that it was a flag. Not sure which, but as it comes downhill into turn 14 and then eventually in towards the 90-degree right-hander 15. Not as much of a difficult complex of corners this. It's easy to get wrong though. Exit corner, he's hit the wall there, the pit wall it seems, coming out of turn 15. Across the line for Electric Blade, and that'll put him 151, 157, Scornsy behind, then goes faster, less than a tenth of a second. Now this is going to be different than what you would typically see with the F1 qualifying. These cars are on fixed max fuel. When you get into the session, there's no way to adjust your fuel range, so you will be seeing back-to-back-to-back hot laps until the drivers decide to pit for when they need fresh tires. I would assume we will be getting that in about 2 or 3 laps time. Again, only a 15-minute session. We're about 4.5 minutes into it already. Scornsy, as you can see, half a second off his previous best. Electric Blade, I didn't see his time then. Have to wait and see as he goes down the straight in towards turn number 9, Tiger NASCAR. That's a big slip from him. That's kind of what I was talking about, going from 3 and into the braking zone of 4. I think perhaps as he hit the grass going in towards turn 3. Not rightly sure, but either way, it doesn't seem like it's going to be going to plan here for Tiger NASCAR. I assume the Delta's going to be quite close when he gets to the line. Actually, he's gone about a tenth faster, so maybe it's just how I saw it happen. Handles turn 6 and 7 quite nicely into the tunnel. Turn 8. Out takes exit nicely. Cam Tizzle has gone P5 at the moment. Scornsy, I think, coming through turn 13 now. Let's go along with him. I like the camera angles a little bit more in this game than the F1 game. You get a full array of camera angles in through 14. Handles the apex nicely. Let's see. Doesn't really take off that much through 15, has to be said. Back on the throttle is Scornsy. Kate Thomas currently provisional pole. Nearly 2/10 of a second off of Scornsy here. To the line goes Scornsy. It was 3 seconds slower, so I would assume this is going to be his time lap attempt now. Electric Blade, as you can see, has gone heavy over the curb through 2. He's kept it nicely out of 3. Tiger NASCAR coming to the line here. He looks like he could be on a solid lap at the moment. Let's stick along with him as he makes his way into 14 and 15 is the 911. Beautiful teal color and the rims as well. Let's see. Coming to the line now, Tiger NASCAR finds himself P5 as Dustin Howe has gone 4th. Tiger NASCAR promotes himself to 2nd place and is within 8 1/1000ths of a second of Kate Thomas. Very interestingly close gap, has to be said. Oh, as he's now I think that's probably the mistake that we were looking out for there through 1, 2, and 3 as he's clobbered the outside retaining wall. And now makes his way into the tunnel, so this attempt is going to be over for him. Dustin Howe making his way now through turn 7. Let's see how he handles it. Seems like he's doing well in through the tunnel. How much of 8 does he cut? Pretty much the whole track. Gravel on the inside of it, that's not going to affect the drivers. That I don't really think exists, really. As Cam Tizzle goes 151, something or another. That's his personal best at the moment. Halfway through the session now as Dustin Howe makes his way down in towards turn 9. Let's see, does he take a wider line? No, he actually cuts quite a lot of the apex off. We've seen some drivers take that corner differently now through 10, 11, and 12. He's currently a 10th and a half better than his previous best. Through turn 12, exit the corner. Ooh, he's hit the wall quite heavily then. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that one's not really going to go to plan for him. Scornsy does now go provisional pole, 150. What was that? 150.807. Separates himself and Kate Thomas by just under a 10th of a second as he makes his way through the remainder of Sector 1. Yet to see anybody come into the pits yet for the fresh tires. 8 minutes into the session now, I would assume we'll be seeing the stops not far off. Perhaps does Tiger NASCAR become the first one? Dustin Howe is gone. P2 now. Just 5 minutes. Once again, Kate Thomas back to Tiger NASCAR. 8 1/1000ths. Tiger NASCAR into the pits now. And this is what you'll see. He won't be taking a fuel stop here. He'll just be going for tires. He's got 73% of fuel remaining. I wish we could see an actual, like, what that is in liters, but I guess just, you know, is what it is. Into the pits comes Tiger NASCAR. You can see the damage on the right front. Just fascia damage, I believe. Just cosmetic. I don't think it actually plays into it that much. The tires go on. New softs is what we can deduct there. Remember, whatever tires you qualify on, you're going to start on in the race as well. Blade a quarter of a second behind Tiger NASCAR. He currently finds himself going through 13 now. Again, one of the lone Toyotas on the grid. He's coming into the pits as well. Cam Tizzle behind in the 911. He's a little bit more tentative through 1, 2, and 3, and he's using brake in the left pedal. Really a little bit more tentative through 1, 2, and 3, and that's, I think, hurt his time just a little bit. As you can see the wiggling that did happen. Alex has 2 seconds behind the leader. This is about the range I'll find myself in. Really just have no ability to drive these cars, I do. It's very difficult as well because, as he's going to let Tiger NASCAR go by here, very different to driving, say, the F1 22 game, because naturally you really have to find the edge of just strangling the car to get everything out of it, whereas in F1 22, you really have to be on the fine line, and you can't really go outside your comfort zone that much. That's something that I have certainly found some difficulty with is getting out of my comfort zone with these cars and trying to take faster lines rather than more careful ones. Consistency is key, but you do need to find the speed as well, which is what Scornsy, Dustin Howe, and Kate Thomas have at the moment. Tiger NASCAR as well in that mix. But we're along with Dustin Howe. He's got fresh tires. This is his timed lap here. We've got 4.5 minutes left in the session, according to my watch. Through the right-hander of turn 5, holds the exit nicely. Doing well once again this corner off camber there to the outside. It's very tricky to take and maintain speed through correctly, then through 8. As much of the inside as you can to where the bricks on the outside are flat out from there. Looks like Dustin Howe might be on a good lap so far. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. Kate Thomas, I believe, is this his time lap? I believe this is going to be the one he's going to make count. It's a 1/10 of a second off of that previous attempt. As he makes his way now into the first few corners, we've got Cam Tizzle and Alex into the pits. 67% fuel for Cam Tizzle, so he's gone a little bit later. Kate Thomas heavy through the grass, exiting 3. That one may hinder his lap attempt as he comes out of turn 4 now, out of the tunnel. Inside North Face livery, I believe this is, as he makes his way through the, let's say the S's through Sector 1 now. That is really how it is, but kind of making his way under the tunnel through turn 8. Season's champion, Kate Thomas. Looks like next to the line we're going to get is one of the drivers. I don't know which. It is Scornsy. Dustin Howe ahead of him. Dustin Howe to the line, off by 2.5 tenths. Scornsy, this was his outlap. Our provisional pole sitter. Let's go along with him. We've got 3 minutes remaining in the session. Let's see if Scornsy can perhaps improve even further as he makes his way through turns 1 and then eventually 2. Doesn't take any of the grass through 2. Sometimes you'll see drivers take the grass through that corner, and then it's pretty much a rally circuit after that, it has to be said. Exiting 4 now, Scornsy seems to be doing really well. Switches to the outside through 5. Uses about every inch of corner room he can take. Tiger NASCAR's gone provisional pole 157.44. Puts 6 100ths back to Scornsy now. I believe that said he's under 2/10 of a second faster than his previous best. Down the straight now, he's got Dustin Howe ahead of him on his way in towards turn 9. Kate Thomas has now gone provisional pole, 155.77. Really solid lap from him. Cam Tizzle exiting the final corner now. This is his outlap. Don't have to worry about that. Alex has just started into the flyer. Josh Sr. on his outlap. Making his way into turn 12 now. See, I think maybe has he hit the wall on the outside again. It's very difficult to tell because, as you can see, the cars are quite jumpy. I know my internet's not that good. We don't typically have these problems in F1 lobbies, it has to be said. On his way into the final section of corners now, 14 and 15. I believe he'll have one more attempt at a time lap here. Seems to be doing all right as Dustin Howe. Let's see if he can finish it off and cross the line and put in a better time. Finds himself P4 across the line is the 911. He puts himself, he's actually slower by 1/10.5 than Scornsy to the line now. And he is also slower that time by 2.5 tenths. Dustin Howe on his way into the pits, I believe. He's going to call it quits for him. Left to blade, making his way through 6 and 7. 15 1,000ths quicker at the moment. A very comfortable improvement. His position at this moment in time as he makes his way down the tunnel. Scornsy making his way down through 5. Let's see how he does. He's about a quarter of a second slower. Tiger NASCAR, this is what I would believe to be his final attempt. Kate Thomas coming out of the line with about 30 seconds to spare. Let's see if he improves. Is this going to be his flyer here? Kate Thomas, who's slower by half a second, so this will be Kate Thomas's final time lap attempt. Tiger NASCAR making his way through Sector 1, Scornsy exiting the tunnel in towards turn 9. Takes a very much more shallow apex than others, carries a lot of speed through that corner, as you can tell, is half a second slower through Sector 2. Not what he would want to see. Electric Blade making his way to the final corner now. To the line goes Electric Blade. We'll have to wait and see. He needs 0.3 of a second better to promote himself to 4th. Across the line is Electric Blade, and he is faster, only just 0.04 of a second is the improvement then. Scornsy now making his way to 14 to 50, and I don't think this one is going to be the improvement lap that he was hoping for, so I think he'll have to settle for P3, about 1/4 of a second behind the leader of Cake Thomas. So the line goes Scornsy, unless he's pulled something out of a hat here. He's going to remain P3. Yes, he does. 0.5 of a second off. Tiger NASCAR now making his way through 13. Cake Thomas behind through 10, 11, and 12. Tiger NASCAR, the last remaining driver, I think, to perhaps challenge Cake Thomas for his provisional pole spot. Eighth lap he's on now. You can tell. Oh, that's a big wiggle there. It looked. Can't quite tell, but it looked a big wiggle. Does he beat 1:55.77? To the line is Tiger NASCAR. Yes, he does. 1:54.02, just under 0.2 of a second faster than his previous best. Cake Thomas at a 15 now. It's just about a 0.2 gap. Let's see if Cake Thomas can improve across the line. I don't think he will. No, he doesn't. 0.75 of a second slower, and Tiger NASCAR will take pole position here for the Trial Mountain round of the Midwest GT3 series here in Gran Turismo 7. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, it looks as if the race is about to begin here shortly. No formation lap here in Midwest GT3. For some reason, it's kicked me out of the spectating menu. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. It looks as if... Looks like we're going to get ready here in a second. The lights are coming on. I didn't even know we had lights. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Gran Turismo 3 underway. Sorry, Gran Turismo 7. GT3 underway here. Looks like Tiger NASCAR's gotten a better launch off the line than Cake Thomas down into the first corner. Drivers fanned out behind. Tiger NASCAR is going to clear Cake Thomas ahead by 2.5. It's an absolute Porsche masterclass. And I say that because the entire grid is Porsche. It looks as if Josh Senior and Electric Blade were side by side there for a minute before going in towards turn number 4 into the tunnel. It looks like perhaps Electric Blade hasn't cleared. Josh Senior still down to the inside. Looks as if perhaps is he going to have a move into 5 around the outside. Electric Blade's going to go to the left. Looks as if Josh Senior is going to have to tuck back in line here as they make their way now under the second tunnel. Electric Blade covering off the bottom line. Josh Senior is going to go low anyways as they make their way around turn 8. Beautifully taken move there from Josh Senior. You can see the grid fanning out ahead, trying to break the toe from each other. Electric Blade in hot pursuit. Perhaps some bumps taking place there. Tough to tell. Definitely looks like bumps to me. Going to switch down to the inside as Electric Blade in towards 9. As Josh Senior breaks, I think, way too early for that corner. But then he's going to try it up the inside once more, just for fun. Contact to the left for a tire, and it looks like somehow Josh Senior has escaped with that one because Electric Blade almost went around and was able to take very much good control of his car as we almost complete the first lap here. Remember, we're in for 1 hour of this race, so roughly 30 laps. The lap's about 2 minutes long. Give or take, plus or minus a couple laps, we're in for roughly 30 laps of race here today. It looks as if, though, it's going to be Tiger NASCAR leading the grid round turn 15. He will lead the first lap of the race. However, it looks like Cake Thomas hasn't given up yet. Still within 0.6 of a second here as they start the second lap of the Grand Prix. Scornsy in pursuit as well. Looks like Scornsy perhaps is playing it a little bit safe at the moment. They make their way into the first couple of corners. It looks as if, yes, Scornsy was taking that corner much too safe. Big wiggle, and somehow he was able to hold on to the car, but that will set him back about a second behind Cake Thomas. The grid now really forming up here. Electric Blade trying to get around Dustin Howe. Uses the exit curve, in fact, pretty much all of it, in towards turn 5 now. Electric Blade looked like he wanted the inside, didn't really have the real estate to make it happen. Although as we go through Sector 2 now, we'll have to wait and see. This is where the slipstream is going to come into play. Of course, balance on performance is in effect, and no setups as well. So whatever these cars have stock, it is what they have as far as performance. As it looks like Electric Blade doing his best to try to keep up to Dustin Howe ahead of him. He is closing that gap, 0.4 of a second now, as they head down towards turn number 9. We'll have to wait and see what the move is. Let's see, he's going to choose the outside, maybe perhaps the old switcheroo, rides the wall on the outside perhaps. Dustin Howe all day has been taking the apex of turn 9 very, very tight and restricted like that. Electric Blade was not able to make anything happen, but now over the crest of turn 11 into 12, perhaps contact made, very difficult corner to get correctly. Even on the best days, it looks like Cam Tizzle and Josh Sr. battling it out there. It looks like Cam Tizzle has gotten around the Toyota of Josh Sr. Oh, and Josh Sr., a big wiggle then, somehow is able to control the car once more. It looks as if closest battle on track is the battle for the lead. Kate Thomas to Tiger NASCAR ahead. Less than a second. Scorsese trying to close back in. It's going to be difficult to do. It doesn't look as if Scorsese's got as good a control on his 911 as the two ahead of him. We'll have to wait and see. Tiger NASCAR ducking out of the slipstream there. Currently has the fastest lap. It's a 1:59.975. Thomas in pursuit, a little bit of a wiggle from him. Hopefully he'll be able to maintain this posture because he's looking quite well at the moment. Tiger NASCAR ahead, starting to pull away now, almost outside of a second, definitely outside of 0.8 of a second. Now it's a 2.5 second gap from the podium 3 back to Electric Blade. Currently has to defend from the Porsche of Dustin Howe behind. Kate Thomas here has Scornsey behind him. Doesn't look like any real movement may happen this time in 0.6 of a second now. Gap is closing. We'll have to wait and see if Scornsey takes the corner well. Meanwhile, it does look as if Dustin Howe might have a move on Electric Blade here down and towards turn number 9. Down to the inside, he's going to look. Dustin Howe likes the inside in the 9, and he's going to have the overtake, I think. Perhaps some argy-barging happening there. Electric Blade tries to get back to the inside of the circuit, and it looks as if Dustin Howe has the spot for now. This battle, I don't think, is over. It's a battle we've seen many a times throughout the history of Midwest GT3. It's Porsche 911 versus Supra, and it looks like, for now, the 911 does have the advantage over the Supra of Electric Blade behind. Looks as if Scornsey's made his way within 0.4 of a second of Kate Thomas, only just. All the while, Kate Thomas needs to defend from Tiger NASCAR, or from Scornsey behind. He's going to lose ground to that of Tiger NASCAR ahead, as Tiger NASCAR really does seem to have quite the handle on the circuit at the moment. Again, it's really about the consistency of the pace whilst also taking your car to the limit. Let's see if Scornsey has anything to say this time as he makes his way through the first couple of corners. Doesn't really look as if he's in position to challenge Kate Thomas ahead. Out of turn 4, still pretty much even Stevens. This is the battle at hand currently. It's Electric Blade and Dustin Howe. These two have been battling all race so far here on our 4th lap. Still the battle. Looks like Dustin Howe might have a move here in a little bit. He's got the slipstream of Electric Blade ahead. We'll have to wait and see. It's a 0.3 of a second gap. I don't think he's close enough to make anything happen yet. In towards turn 9, Electric Blade defends low. Dustin's not really going to have an advantage here. He has taken the wider corner. He'll have more exit pace. It looks like Alex has left the room, unfortunate for him. I've had that situation many a times, I'll tell you that. Electric Blade having to defend at the moment. Currently for the lead, Kate Thomas within a second on Tiger NASCAR ahead. Kate Thomas has a second on Scornsey behind as 1, 2, and 3 file through turn 15. Starting now the 5th lap of the race. Looks like Dustin actually getting to the point where it's going to worry more about tire strategy. Now, different from this game, compared to that of F1 22, it really does depend on what the driver decides with both his fuel window and his tires. Now, naturally, in this game, you have the different fuel modes to try to, either take the long game or play it short. I can guarantee you each one of these drivers in the top three is still currently on the highest fuel mode, that being fuel mode 1, so it's going to be a much more rich mixture of fuel. And therefore, these guys, I would assume, are going to be the first to pit. But again, it is going to depend on driver style more than anything, whereas in the F1 game, you don't have that. It's just basically, the tires wear away. It's that base rate of kind of tire fall off. That's not the case here. Every driver, I believe, started on the softs. That is the required tire. So we would assume we're either going to see it to the mediums or the hards. Now, if you don't plan on stopping again, if you plan on taking the long game, you choose the hards. But I would assume these in the top three would take the mediums. I don't think we're near that pit window yet. Start to see the lap times fall off here in a minute, as we can see with our leader, Tiger NASCAR, ahead. Scornsy does have the fastest lap, 156.18. Tiger NASCAR to the line. That's actually fastest lap for him, 154.17. Tiger apparently only getting better for the Porsche 911, heading the field. Scornsy having to be a little bit tentative through those first couple of corners. Looks behind Dustin is falling off about 2 seconds behind Electric Blade. Closest battle on field is this for second place. Have to wait and see. Scores at 0.3 of a second slower this lap so far. He had a very good lap last time by, but as you can see, the lap's not really having major improvements yet. Session, we saw cars, the Tiger NASCAR was started at, I believe it was his 8th lap, and he would have had to have stopped at least once, so I would assume the tire's no longer in peak condition. So only 0.4 of a second behind, and now suddenly Kate Thomas pulls ahead again, despite being 0.2 of a second slower this lap. Still the closest battle in the field, and I'll give credit to Kate Thomas. Is doing well to keep the battle ahead to Tiger NASCAR somewhat in his mind. Actually, Tiger NASCAR hasn't had the opportunity to pull away just yet. He does have the 911 behind him, now slips back within another second. Scornsy ahead has more or less been pressuring Kate Thomas more than Kate has been pressuring Tiger NASCAR ahead. Another big slide out of the final corner, this time by Scornsy is ahead. He then loses outside of a second. Back to Kate. Kate goes his personal best, 154.82. Not that far off the fastest lap, so it looks as if Kate is putting down faster laps than Tiger NASCAR ahead of him. I think shortly we may see perhaps an opportunity at an overtake. I wouldn't necessarily believe we're going to go too aggressively here immediately. Scornsy behind, kind of the master of just waiting patiently and waiting his turn. Sometimes he does it too much, I'll admit. But at this moment in time, it looks as if Kate Thomas trying his best to maybe find something that Tiger NASCAR doesn't have. Tiger's gone wide through 8 that time. I think maybe as he hit the wall outside of turn 8, and now Kate Thomas has an opportunity to overtake the 911 ahead of him. Let's see, what line does he choose here? He may even bump Tiger NASCAR ahead, very close side by side, then in towards turn number 9. Which car comes out ahead? It looks as if Tiger NASCAR is going to outbrake him on the inside. Does Kate Thomas get better traction taking the long way around? The answer is going to be no. It was a very good battle, but then again, he's tucked right in behind Tiger NASCAR as they make their way through 10, 11, and into 12. That was definitely the best opportunity that Kate Thomas has had of overtaking Tiger NASCAR so far. I don't expect that to be the last one. Oh, Tiger NASCAR's going around! And he's gone into the grass. I'm not sure what error has been had there. from Tiger NASCAR, but he has slipped down to the third spot. Oh, that. There was no contact ahead from Cake Thomas. Contact behind, rather. I think maybe that one was pure driver error on behalf of Tiger NASCAR, has to be said. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear, and I think that may be the case, because Electric Blade certainly right now seems to be finding a groove. He's getting within Tiger NASCAR, so Tiger pits, and in comes Electric Blade as well. This is a very bold turn of events here. Is this the scheduled stop? Because Scornsy and Cake Thomas have stayed out. Yet 39 fuel there, Electric Blade on 35, so we'll have to assume this would be the scheduled stop, unless perhaps are they going to take the hards to the end and play the long game. That's what I would guess. We'll have to see. I'm definitely going to be filling up on fuel here, there's no doubt about that. Tires going on. Car being held, fuel coming in. Look at that, he's fueling from the... What the hell? Okay, anyways. So, Tiger NASCAR on the mediums, and Electric Blade on the mediums as well. Tiger NASCAR's only gone up to 95 fuel. Electric Blade's gone up to full 100%. Cam Tizzle behind, he's refueling as well. Looks like he's gone for the hards, and is also 100%. Dustin comes in. They'll be overtaken here by Cake shortly, which, yes, they have. Dustin into stop, tires coming off. He'll be demoted back down to P5. He'll be behind Electric Blade. And he's on 81 fuel on the soft, so he looks to like maybe he's planning on the aggressive two-stop here. Josh Sr. as well. Let's see what he does. And he will be... I would say also perhaps an aggressive two-stop. These couple drivers ahead, I think, will have a little bit of time to make that decision. It looks as if right now, Tiger NASCAR is slowly starting to climb back to Scornsy here. And perhaps battle for the second spot. Oh, that's a big wiggle. Does he hold on to it? Yes, he does. Wow, and somehow he was able to keep the car under control, because that looked quite the violent shape through going out of turn 8. Not exactly closing in on Scornsy ahead. I'll give it, he's slightly getting closer, but I don't really think he's putting that much of a pressure on Scornsy ahead. Slower. Almost within the second gap now. Obviously no DRS. That'd be quite interesting if it were. I think. But that's just... keep the DRS for the people outside of the second. That I think. But not really. Looks as if Tiger NASCAR is going to be appearing in the rear view of Scornsy here momentarily. We'll have to wait and see how heavily Tiger NASCAR tries to reclaim that second spot. Remember, Tiger NASCAR spun from the lead, and that is what's promoted Cake Thomas to the first spot. Closest battle on track, Scornsy doing his best. Let's see, how much pressure does Scornsy figure he's under here up through turns 1, 2, and 3. This is going to depend. Is he conservative? Is he aggressive? The answer is, well, he's lost about another 3/10 there, so we can assume Scornsy's doing his best to keep the car on the track at this moment in time. That's the sign of a driver that is very aware of the driver behind. Now dips outside of a second again. Scornsy's taken turn 5 right wide then. Tiger NASCAR's definitely gotten better go through. Turn 6 and 7, it looks as if Tiger is definitely gaining on Scornsy here. We'll have to wait and see. Tiger NASCAR, does he get a good run out of turn 8 up the back straight? Trying to break the toe. I'll tell you what, I don't think Tiger's in range to overtake just yet. It will be happening, though. As we said, Scornsy again seeming like he's taken the circuit much more conservatively than Tiger NASCAR behind. Tiger's got to get back on the back up in the podium here. Of course, he's in that third spot. But I think he can definitely feel that he had a win today. maybe has it escaped him. Reminder, as these two battle, Kate Thomas leads. A second, almost 2 seconds back to Scornsy behind. On board now with Tiger NASCAR as they go through 14 and 15. Scornsy taking the corner a little bit more wide. Tiger NASCAR really cut it in half. Then, oh, that's another big wiggle. It looked tough to tell. It looks like maybe he's lost about 0.2 of a second there. Starting lap 14 now, the gap less than a second, albeit only just. Gap ahead from Scornsy to Kate Thomas, 1.5 seconds, so it is maybe getting closer. As they enter the tunnel now, it's a 2.5 second gap from the leader to the back of the podium, which is Tiger NASCAR at the moment. No other real close battles happening on the grid at this moment in time. 1 second separate Tiger and Scornsy here as they make their way now through exiting turn number 8. It looks like Scornsy will perhaps be in range for a tow on Kate Thomas ahead. Does Kate Thomas suddenly start playing the conservation game, because now it's only 2 seconds between the podium 3? Looks like maybe happening here. This is interesting here. You can even see traction control levels. Traction control level 1 for Tiger NASCAR, level 1 for Scornsy as well. Kate Thomas ahead. Well, it's either all the same or it's either just the default look, but of course you can see what fuel level they're at. Tell. Their way through 14 and 15 now. Kate Thomas. Ooh, and he's at a hefty. What? No, he hasn't. Okay. It definitely looked as if he had scraped the wall exiting turn 15, but Game Connection says no, that didn't actually happen. You're just imagining things. So suddenly now Scornsy might be having a look at the lead here shortly, because I believe, yeah, we're getting close to the halfway mark here. We'll have to wait and see. Again, it's going to be on the driver that makes the least amount of mistakes. Scornsy took a hefty route through the grass exiting 3. Kate Thomas ahead, I would think, is conserving. He's given up about a second here back to the rest of the podium. Have to wait and see what happens as far as strategy. Again, we're about halfway through the race now. 27 minutes completed. Scornsy takes 8 wide. Tiger NASCAR, if he gets a better exit, will certainly have to move at Scornsy ahead. The gap is closing, not by much, and I don't think he's going to be at overtaking distance here. Unless, does he turn up the juice and see what shakes loose in towards turn 9. Kate Thomas pulling away, perhaps ahead. Tiger NASCAR files in behind Scornsy. Chooses not to make anything happen, although Scornsy does go quite wide through turn 9, and now it's side by side as they make their way through the 10, 11, and 12 S's. Scornsy was able to hold on to the spot. Tiger NASCAR now tries around the outside. Definite contact made there. Tiger NASCAR still, as that he files in behind Scornsy once more. As now, Tiger NASCAR, ooh, that was a hefty shot then to the rear of Scornsy ahead. Well, as much as I believe Rubbin is racing here, it's a little bit aggressive between these two. As you can, you know, you can afford to be aggressive with these cars. They can take absolutely a hefty amount more beating than, say, in a Formula 1 car. Tiger NASCAR has definitely smacked the wall coming out of 15 that time. He's lost about 0.4 of a second. All the while, Kate Thomas is no longer seeming to play a conservative game. He's got that gap back outside of 3 seconds. Of course, it helps with the two drivers behind battling. It looks as if all the while these two cars battle, Kate Thomas only extends his lead more. Turn 5 now. Looks as if Tiger's starting to perhaps try to climb back to Scornsy here. Maybe a bit of a wiggle there on entry. down to the inside, trying to break the toe. Tiger NASCAR doing everything he can, just trying to close the gap now, 7/10 of a second. If Scornsy makes another mistake, Tiger NASCAR will be right on it. Both drivers take the apex of turn 9 very tight. Tiger NASCAR takes a wider exit. Doesn't really close the gap, over 11 into 12. I think Tiger's taken that one maybe a bit more conservative than Scornsy because he's lost about 2/10 then. This is where Tiger NASCAR made his mistake before, that being in the middle of 13. That's when he lost the lead back, I believe it was about lap 4 is when it happened, roughly. Scornsy now has a second. It is, however, closing back to NASCAR behind. Down the pit straight they go, starting the 17th lap. We are officially halfway through the racing distance. Through the time. 30 minutes has elapsed here. Tiger NASCAR looking to close down and Scornsy ahead still. 6/10 of a second. Teetering within that second range for the entirety of this battle so far. Scornsy doing very well to keep consistent ahead. Tiger NASCAR really seems to be gunning it here, but is it hurting him? Because sometimes he'll have this gap down to about half a second, and now it's getting closer to a second, so maybe just trying to wonder where Tiger NASCAR is perhaps losing the time. Definitely doesn't seem to be through Sector 3. I think it is through Sector 1, and he's losing the ground to Scornsy ahead. We'll have to wait and see just once more. Let's see as they go down towards 9. I don't think, unless Scornsy goes wide here, I don't think Tiger NASCAR is going to have a move at him. Tight to the apex of 9 is Scornsy. Tiger NASCAR follows close, half a second the gap. In towards turn 12. Difficult right-hander to take. Scornsy's gone wide. He's hit the wall exiting the corner. This might be Tiger NASCAR's attempt here very shortly if he can find the opening. I assume it's going to be in the straight line. That's where he seems comfortable. 14 and 15 now, takes it wide through 14. Through 15 he goes, takes all the apex he can. Big wiggle then, and I think perhaps, yeah, he seems to be losing time to Scornsy ahead now. Scornsy not really closing in on Kate Thomas either. Across the line, it was a second and a half slower that time for Tiger NASCAR. Of course, he's got Scornsy ahead. So Scornsy does seem to be doing very well, despite the obvious pressure coming from behind. Through turn 4. I doubt it's that way for the drivers. It is to me, though. I think it's very ideal. Tiger NASCAR closing in, yeah, I think towards the tail end of Sector 1. I think through Sector 1, Scornsy's got the advantage. Coming out of it, I think Tiger NASCAR might just have the advantage over Scornsy. I will say, Tiger NASCAR really running out of room to try to make these moves happen. It looks like in the straight line, Tiger NASCAR is going to have him beat. He just runs out of real estate, and Scornsy's able to hold on for another lap, this time through turn 9. What, either Scornsy's made a mistake or Tiger NASCAR's made up some serious ground. His electric blade unfortunately leaves the room, whittling the grid down to 6. A little bit of a slip then through turn 12 as Tiger NASCAR trying to do his best to keep up the Scornsy ahead. It's a 12-second gap from Tiger back to Dustin. Currently it's a minute and 2 seconds from Cam Tizzle to the lead. Making his way into Sector 2 now to the back straight. It's also very difficult to tell if the driver's making a mistake or not. It's just the internet, because it looked there like there was a serious wiggle with timing sheets. What would say otherwise. The gap has stayed relatively the same. It is really all over the place, as we said. Pretty much wrapped up here unless still a lot of race to go, still 25 minutes of action left. But it looks as if Scornsy is able to handle this pressure quite well. It doesn't look as if he's going to really give up the position to Tiger NASCAR here. Oh, I say that. Okay, alright, never mind. It just looks so off. 0.5 of a second the gap. Tiger NASCAR to Scornsy here, in towards 14 and 15 yet again. Starting the 20th lap here in a moment. Scornsy scraping the wall ahead. Doesn't seem to lose that much time. Looks like now the gap within 0.7 of a second yet again as they make their way through turn 8. Will Tiger NASCAR have the move this time by? That gap closing this time, I'll say, a bit more significantly than it's initially looked these previous couple of revolutions through the circuits. 0.2 of a second the gap. Does Tiger NASCAR try the inside? The answer, no. He's going to try to make it high around turn 9. Scornsy doesn't really look like he's wavered any bits, although I will say the gap definitely more close than it was before. Scornsy, I think, may have just hit the wall there, going in towards turn 12. He's gone wide. Somehow doesn't hit the wall, exiting 12. And again, Tiger NASCAR doing everything he can to still try to hunt down Scornsy. It's been a great battle these two Scornsy has. 4, almost 5 seconds behind Kate Thomas. Assume if we're on these soft tires right now, medium tires, it's going to depend now more on the fuel window than tires. It has to be said, we might be getting some stops here pretty soon. Have to wait and see. Tiger NASCAR this time, looking forward on Scornsy, right up behind the Porsche. Doesn't make anything happen yet. I think that may have been a mistake there from Scornsy. He's gone through the grass through 3. Gap still within 0.4 of a second. I'll tell you what, looks like Cam Tism unfortunately has left the session as well. Very close battle here, and it's been for the longest time, although it doesn't. I say it's been a very close battle. Not much overtaking has actually happened. Both drivers, I think, being a little patient here. There's still a lot of race left, 20 minutes to go, roughly. Does Tiger NASCAR have the move this time on Scornsy? Down to the inside in towards turn 9. It certainly looks like he's got the move made. Scornsy wide through the corner, Tiger NASCAR on the apex. Tiger NASCAR, does he come out ahead? Yes, he does. And now it's up to Scornsy to see if he can try to get it back, because it has to be said, Scornsy's been running some very consistent laps. Aside from that last one, each lap from about, 20 back to 13 has all been within the same kind of pace of each other. I will say last time was a 153, 117. Lap 20 was actually quicker than his previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 laps. I think he's really had a big wiggle coming out of 15 that time. Beginning lap 23 now. Tiger NASCAR ahead. 2.5 tenths. Scornsy, I think, is going to be looking to make something happen here. Oh. So you're telling me all I needed to do was press this. You're telling me all I needed to do that whole time to see the telemetry and whatnot was just to press the circle button to get out of the options menu? Well, that's odd. I wish we could perhaps scroll through the multifunction display. It does appear Tiger NASCAR, at the very least, is low on fuel, and I tell you what, he's burned up his right sides as well. Scornsy still is okay on fuel for the time being. Looks like now, is he going to have a move? Tiger NASCAR, it's just a tenth of a second. He's going to switch to the outside. Does he perhaps try the switcheroo in towards 9? NASCAR still down to the inside. What? Okay. Alright, anyways, it looks like Tiger NASCAR has stayed ahead. Scornsy doing his best to still keep up ahead. It looks like Tiger NASCAR, I would guess, would be pitting this time by. Cake Thomas, I still think he has some time left. Tiger NASCAR, I would assume, no, Cake Thomas is going to pit now. Cake Thomas, Tiger NASCAR, and Scornsy all coming in. Dustin, I would assume, is going to be coming in this time as well. Josh Senior, albeit he's a minute behind. He's just pit recently. Pit stops coming up now. Let's see what happens. Tiger NASCAR on the very last drop of fuel then comes in. He's made it go all that time. So it looks like now Cake Thomas and Scornsy will only have to make it last 15 minutes. Roughly, I would say 8 or 9 laps here. Fuel going on. Cake Thomas comes out. He's gone back to the softs. Only 3/4 of a tank full. Tiger NASCAR at the very nice percentage of 69. Comes out. Oh, but look at Scornsy. He's right behind as well. Scornsy all over the back of Tiger NASCAR here. I was going to make some sort of joke there. It was probably best if I don't. Scornsy still only within 0.5 of a second. He wasn't able to make the move happen last time. We'll have to wait and see as Tiger NASCAR has Scornsy here. Dustin 22 seconds off of the lead, 15 behind the podium. Scornsy now seems like he may be struggling here because he's now lost time. Tiger ahead, and the gap is slipping even further, over 1.5 seconds now. Gap from Cake to Tiger not really closing any. Tiger is on the lowest fuel out of anybody in the top 3 at the moment. He's looking to push to the end here. 8-second advantage from Cake to Scornsy here in the top 3. This is odd. Scornsy coming in? Why has he done that? That, it must say, doesn't look like it was supposed to happen. Looks like Dustin might just get the podium here. For fun, yeah. Tiger's going on for Scornsy. He had already hit. I don't really know. Has he figured, well, he's put the softs on. Has he figured he wouldn't be able to make it to the end and be able to pressure? Is that what happened? I'm not rightly sure, but that promotes Dustin to the top 3. Cake Thomas now starting what I believe is going to be his last, maybe 2 laps here, maybe lap. It does have to be said he's pretty much had this one all to himself all day today, ever since Tiger NASCAR spun in the lead. Tiger NASCAR has rebounded up to second. Scornsy, for some reason, had to pit twice. I don't really know why. He was falling down to 4th, although was, for a period of time, closing down Dustin ahead. It looks like Dustin today will finish on the podium unless some sort of mistake happens. Into the last 45 seconds of the timer now. Kate Thomas making his way through turn 8. Thomas now making his way in towards turn 9 for what may be the final time. 20 seconds remaining on the timer. Looks as if, yes, Scornsy's still outside of 5 seconds on Dustin ahead. Cake through turn 13. This will be the final lap here for Kate Thomas. He's had it all to himself pretty much ever since the early goings here. Hasn't had to worry about strategy. Out of turn 14, into turn 15, it'll be Kate Thomas winning here at Trial Mountain. It's been an absolutely dominant display for him today, and he will come home atop the podium here in a race that really has been all his all day long. Tiger NASCAR out of the final corner. He will come home to finish second. Kate Thomas only his second win of the season. Bathurst, Tiger NASCAR, Bathurst, Road Atlanta, Watkins Glen, and Daytona have all been taken by Tiger NASCAR. Kate Thomas able to strike back the final step on the podium. Scornsy in 4th. Josh Sheeter will be finishing 5th. Thank you very much for watching us here in the Midwest GT3 League here on Gran Turismo 7. Hotspot, it's been a pleasure. Hopefully, we'll see you next week.